let's take a look at some of these problems. This first one is a three-part problem dealing with some fundamental coordinate geometry. Asks us to find the midpoint, then asks us to find the slope of a line connecting 2 points, and then finally write out the equation of a line in standard form. Working with the first part, let's take a look and see what we can do. Alright, so it tells us point A has coordinates 4, -8, and point B has coordinates -2, 4. Write down the coordinates of C, the midpoint of the line segment AB. Okay. Two ways to do this. One is, I suppose, a little more conceptual, and one is a little more formulaic. Let's start with the conceptual idea. I think that might be best. So, I mean, you can always draw a kind of, what can you say, coordinate grid, and just get a rough idea of what's going on here. We have point A, which is at 4, -8, and just roughly speaking, we can call it right around here. A is 4, -8, and point B is -2, 4. Again, roughly speaking, about here. B, -2, 4. And what are we asking when we're talking about the midpoint of a line segment? Well, a line segment connects 2 points, in this case A and B together, and the midpoint is going to be, well, the halfway point. So we can ask ourselves the question of, well, what is the halfway point? If we look at this y value right here, it's 4, and this y value of point A is -8. So we ask ourselves, well, what's the distance from 4 to -8? Starting at 4 and then going down, we need, well, 4 to the x-axis and then another 8, and we travel a total distance of 12. And if we, let's say, start at this x point of -2 on the x-coordinate and go all the way to 4, what distance do we travel? Well, if we're at -2, it takes us, well, 2 to get to the y-axis, and then another 4. So altogether, we travel a distance of 6. And so what's going to be the halfway point, I suppose? Well, if 12 is the total distance we need to travel, halfway would be, well, 6. And if 6, right here, this 6 is what I'm talking about, if we need to travel 6 in the horizontal direction, well, halfway would be only 3. So where does that leave us? Well, if we start at x is equal to -2, this point right here, and we move 3 to the right, we are suddenly at, well, 1. So -2 plus 3 is 1. And if we start at 4 in the y direction and we move down 6, we're suddenly at -2. And this would be the halfway point between these 2 points, A and B, or the midpoint of the line segment. That's a little more conceptual. That's kind of what we're asking. We're asking for the midpoint, the halfway point between these two. A little more, I guess, formulaic, and one that is maybe more conventional, I suppose, is just using our midpoint formula. And this is in your formula booklet. Midpoint is the average of the x-coordinates, so x1 over x2, x1 plus x2, and then the average of our y-coordinates. Keeping things in order, it's not a bad idea to label these x1, x2, and then let's use a different color. I suppose this will do. y1 and y2. So setting this out, we can go ahead and write out 4 plus -2 all over 2, and then our y-coordinates are going to be -8 plus 4, doesn't need any brackets, all over 2. Simplifying a little, we have 4 plus -2 is going to be 2 over 2. -8 plus 4 is going to be -4 over 2, and then once again 2 over 2 is 1. -4 over 2 is going to be -2. And that is reassuring because that's the same value we found here. So midpoint of the line segment AB is 1, -2. Alright, see you on the next one.